Hey, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Racha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there pushing the truth across the four corners of the earth. Hey, real quick, I just wanted to land back off a video that the apostle did, going into the spirit. Hey, because I also was watching this documentary, The Game Changers, and it's very, very, very interesting. Very interesting. And basically, man, we're coming to a time where all roads are leading back to the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Bible. All right, because one of the reasons that this guy made this documentary channel, he's an MMA fighter, is because he got injured. So he did what he made the smart move. He went back and researched, and the scriptures tell you about look up the old paths, the old ways. Why did you do that? Because in the ancient world, they had a lot of their knowledge of the basics was a lot better of ours. I'll put it like that. Even though our technology has far surpassed theirs, their knowledge of basic and simple things, is on a whole nother level. All right, because the kind of the basics of this society have been kind of established by Esau, and we know he's the devil, so he's not going to give you all of the truth on everything. He's going to keep the truth for himself. And at a certain point in this documentary, they start talking about, well, I'm gonna let you listen to it. Hopefully, I won't get flagged, but hey, every brother should try to see this. It's a really good documentary. Plant-based eating. I've kind of been trying it for a few days, and one thing I can say is I have a lot better. Your mood becomes better, your mind becomes better. Just like when Daniel ate the post, when he was dealing with Babylon, and put him on another level. Well, hey, we need to embrace the same spirit, of us trying to be on another level, because the times are coming where they're pushing this chip, they're pushing all of these different agendas against people. They're pushing the whole transhuman movement, according to the scriptures, and all roads are leading back to the Bible, because the Bible, the Bible is the only knowledge that encompasses all things. That's it. You can't run, to any major topic on this earth without it being overshadowed by the Bible. That's just the truth. That's why, the whole black consciousness community, they had to try to attack the Bible. It encompasses everything. But here's a clip from this, in which they're not showing faces. Well, we're gonna walk through.
The gladiator graveyard from Ephesus is the only one with a significant number of individuals buried there.
Yep. And the thing about it is, the scriptures say what? He is wiser than Daniel. Esau is wiser than Daniel, because they actually went to Ephesus. They went to these ancient fighters, which of course was Jake. They dug them up, and they're about to show you that they can evaluate their bones to basically see what they ate. All right, and we know, hey, because these Edomites, on these scientists and all of this, they know who we were. That's why a lot of them, different brothers, different camps, different locations, I've kind of peeped it. You got movie producers who'll walk by, who'll talk to you. We've had college professors who walk by and talk to you, scientists, different people in law enforcement. They'll walk by and talk, and you might not even. We've had Amish and all these different religious people, religious leaders, walk by and try and speak to us, and you might not know that's who they are, but that's who they are. And that's the kind of knowledge that they're coming with. All right, and the thing about it is, because this is a whole different kind of subject, but the bone density for Jake, they're showing you, they got the so-called black man, the so-called black woman, so-called white man. Well, the bone density for Jake is completely higher than it is for Esau. And they're showing you that. And this is the Edomite woman on the bottom. And so I say that to say, when they evaluate these bones and the structure, they know that this is Jake. They know it's Jake. They have to know it's Jake. Because they study everything about us.
Archaeologists recovered the remains of at least 68 gladiators.
60, so they dug up these people's bones, which, you know, the practice of, they knew kind of the bones. In the ancient world, you had Golgotha, which is where they took Yahweh Shai's body, took him to a tomb. They had the tombs. You know, Golgotha means place of the skull because it was the tombs. And basically, they would put, you know, people's bones there. And so this is Turkey. You know what I'm saying? So if they know that, well, look, we found these, because they'll call it, you know, Negroid or whatever. But they kind of know that, they know, like I said, Jake's bone density, his bone structure is slightly different than Esau's. And so they know, if we were up here with them, where else were they at? Esau knows.
There have been more than 5,000 bones analyzed for the study. We found in the cross-section of the bone very high bone mineral density, which indicated intense training and
indicated that it was Jake too, because it's, like we just said, it's a difference. And this is just, you know, one little small cheap graph. They got all kind of information about this.
high quality diet to build up strong muscles and strong bones. This diet gave the gladiators the nickname Hordiari, which means beans and barley puncher. We know different food sources give different amounts of strontium in the bones. High strontium levels in vegetarians, low strontium levels in carnivores. If there is low strontium in the sample, the flame will stay blue. If there is high strontium levels, it will change from blue to red. The gladiators were predominantly vegetarian.
Yep. And that's going back. And the thing about it, that this movie kind of has that spirit where this guy, which, you know, he could be Jake. He could be Jake. It was hard to kind of gauge his character because, you know, the documentary has so many moving pieces. It's not really about him a lot per se, where it's about you know, the whole plant-based diet thing. But what he did was he's looking at the old paths. He's looking at it from all angles. And you know, he could be a Jake. And just another small clip from it. Now, since I'm kind of showcasing it. Let me see. Pause and we'll find the right. And here's another clip. Basically, what they did was they took out his blood, you know, on with him eating meat, and then him with a plant-based diet, and you know, they're showing the difference in the plasma. And the scriptures tell them what? The blood is the life force of the body. So they're showing that, look, these vegetables, this post that you're eating, you know, it's bringing more life to the body. Even though, you know, you did eat lamb during the Passover, you did, you know, eat the occasional meat in a celebration, but in the everyday diet, you weren't eating like that. You're not supposed to eat like that, and that's a practice that, you know, brothers have to try to get out of if you're in that spirit. You know, because that's a thing in this world that they give you. You know, your grandmother, she might cook breakfast on Saturdays, she might cook breakfast on Sundays, she's cooking the eggs, the bacon, you know, all of this shit, you know, they're cooking the pork chops, and that's a practice that Jake has post-slavery, because, you know, you went from not eating, you know, barely anything to, you know, now you have all these options, so, you know, you're not necessarily going to make the most disciplined decision because you're just now, you know, getting in the game and being able to have, you know, these options. And so, hey, we gotta, you know, as Israelites, we gotta be better about this type of thing. But every brother, you know, they have their own spirit, have their own way. It's just, you know, something that's on the table. All right, and because they have to know that it's Jake. They have to know it's Jake. We know that Paul established a congregation at Ephesus, and then later he wrote to them, right? It says, Paul, an apostle of Yahweh Shai by the will of the Most High, to the saints which are at Ephesus, to the saints which are at Ephesus, and to the faithful in Yahweh Shai. I believe, what's that word? Santos? Or Hagios, excuse me. Hagios, and saints is talking about the Israelites. Most holy thing, a saint. Well, that's what it means. It's talking about Israelites, because right, we're the ones who are given the law, statute, commandments pursuant to Revelations 9, 1 through 4. We received the promise. We received all of that. We received the priesthood that was given to us, right? The Levitical priesthood, the law, all those things, they were given to the Israelites, pursuant to Romans 9 through 4. All right, now you might say, well, look, they never showed any faces, they never showed any pictures. Well, we know that this man, they did a lot to cover up our history, probably to this day, because there's so many videos out about us being who we are. They're probably still, destroying images of us now that we've really, put, from the elders and apostles on down, that we put our foot on the gas and know who we were. It says, a Roman gladiator was an ancient professional fighter who specialized with particular weapons and armor. I'm going to jump down through it. Yep, it says, as fights were to the death, gladiators had a short life expectancy, and so, although it was in some respects a glamorous profession, the majority of fighters were slaves, former slaves, or condemned prisoners. And we know what? That we were slaves in the Roman Empire. All right, we were carried out during the time of the Maccabees. You had so many Israelites who were carried off into captivity throughout the Greco-Roman Empire, and even through the Roman Empire, we know that they fought against Hannibal. They fought against Carthage, and many. You had Jake up there in northern Africa. That was a hot spot during that time. You had Jake also, through Egypt, mixed in amongst some of the other nations as well. So when it's talking about the slaves, that was Jake. We were a good majority of us were those slaves. It said, without doubt, gladiator spectacles were one of the most watched forms of popular entertainment in the Roman world. Just like now. This is the time of the season. I was riding with a dude. He could have been, an Israelite foreigner, but basically, we were talking kind of about sports. He said, look, I don't even watch baseball, because, St. Louis is a big baseball city, and, that's what all the Hoosiers like. They like baseball. But this dude said, man, I don't even watch that shit. It's boring. I want to see basketball, and I want to see UFC. And both of those are what? Dominated by Jake. Because it's fast paced, and I think they said amongst all sports, the one that's if you're making a bet, the one that's most a sure thing is going to be basketball, right? Because the better athlete will win. Of course, the referees have a certain influence on the game, but usually the better team will win, and the better athletes will prevail. It's that kind of sport. So hey, that was it on that, man. Just a quick showcasing. And if you want to get further proof, the original book, which was the template for the movie 300, all of the 300 Spartans were Jake. Look, that's Jake. That's Jake. All of them were Jake. So this guy, who wrote the was it Dan Brown or let me see Frank Miller. This guy Frank Miller who created the template for 300. You see they whitewashed it. You can clearly see he's dark skinned. You know, he's Jake. And in Hollywood they whitewashed it. He knew that they were Israelites. And that's probably a subject for a whole nother video. How did he know that? Which, you know, usually Esau's, they're not going to tell you, but a lot of them, like they showed before in this movie, the Game Changers, you know, you got to get that. They dug up the bones and they went back and they're looking at pictures and they're looking at tablets. So they knew. So, hey, with that being said, man, all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem, Rachak Kodash. You know, it's Jake, man. People are watching, you know, a lot of people are watching this information. A lot of people are looking, you know, and it's very important, Salaki, that, you know, brothers know all of the ins and outs of who we were, you know, so we can bring out the truth, so we can motivate, you know, the elect. You know, if it's not already sealed, we're supposed to keep pushing for the elect to be sealed. It's Jake. You know, of course, you know, they got the whole heathen shit going on with the wearing, but, you know, it's Jake. So with that being said, man, Lord willing, is edifying. Shalom.